All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Thumb. That's the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who we know as Jesus Christ. Um, there's a verse that's that was heavy on me, man. I had a brother come to me, and brother, I reverence very much. I've probably been in this thing. I don't know, maybe 12 years. I done lost count, man. But when I was first coming in and I was sitting in my living room watching videos before I had any fringes on or anything like that, this brother was out there teaching on the highways and byways and had, had a good name within the organization that he was in. And he texted me one time, once, I got in and started my own thing, and we crossed paths. The Most High, led us to cross paths. He hit me with this verse, you know, to see what my understanding of this verse was. And this verse is in Matthew 8. But before we get to the verse, we got to lay down some foundation first for us to truly understand this thing. And we have to let go of the pre notions. We have to be able to be retaught. And I know a lot of you saying, oh man, here we go. Here go Brother Phineas. But it's gonna be hard for you to, even when I had those pre notions that I used to have of the Israel only doctrine, it still was hard for me to it still was hard for me to comprehend this verse. Holding on to those pre notions, and him also. Um, it was hard for him. That's why he brought it to me. Um, and that was a compliment, for me. I was like, man, he coming to me for some advice. Wow, on some text. But yeah, that thing had me stumped also. But a couple of years later, we here now, and I feel I have a good grasp on that particular verse, all thanks to the Hamashiach Yahushua and that Holy Spirit, that Comforter, that should teach us all things. Um, but like I said again, we have to go to the foundation. We need to go to the foundation. So, foundationally, we'll have to deal with the issue of the lack of faith within Israel, within the disciples, particular. And we see these incidents over and over and over and over again. What are you talking about, Brother Phineas? And it's gonna be a hard, so it's hard for you to see the whole picture, but you need to get to a point where you see. And I only really got about 65% of the picture of the movie, because the Gospels is really a movie. It's really a walk. They made many movies on it. All right, but we should, want to get to the point where we know the play by play every move. Okay, he went here, he went to Capernaum, he went to Galilee, he was in Nazareth. He started in Nazareth, guys, But let's deal with it. Started in Nazareth, went into the synagogue in Nazareth in his hometown. What did he say there? He said, it's a prophet is honored everywhere except his hometown. A prophet is honored everywhere in his hometown. Said he couldn't do many miracles there because of their disbelief. Because of his disbelief, he couldn't do many miracles there except heal a few here and there. They tried to throw him over. They tried to throw him over. They tried to kill him when he read that Luke, man. I meant that, not that Luke, but that I think it's Isaiah 61. They tried to kill him. Then later on in the mission, man, and I'm probably, that's why I said I don't have it play by play by play by play, but just gonna give you some of the incidents that happened with disbelief in Israel. You had the disciples. Christ just fed 5,000. You got the disciples. They push a boat out. They're on the boat, and Jokers is saying, "Hey, man, I'm man, we should have got them crumbs. We should have gathered I shouldn't have left the remnant of that food up there. I shouldn't have left the remnant of the fish and bread. I should have brought some of that. I should have grabbed a little bit of that and took it with me, man. I don't know what we gonna eat later. And you with the person. That's what he's telling you. Take no thought. You're with the person. Okay, that just didn't listen. That's in Matthew 6. You know, that ye of little faith, take no thought about tomorrow and the lilies and he clothed, the Most High clothed the lilies, and he feed the ravens, and they don't have to reap nor sow. But it's a lack of this. Another issue. Then it's ye of little faith. How many times did we hear that? Another time when he was on a boat, the storm came. They run down. Oh Lord, the storm's here. We about to die. Why are you just sleeping? What's going on? Man, y'all ain't got no faith. You think I'm gonna let y'all die? And these were tests. These were tests. You think I'm gonna let y'all die, man? What's going on? Another time they was casting out the demons. He was trying to cast out the demons. The man came and said, hey, man, please help my son. I talked to your disciples, but they couldn't cast out the demon. They couldn't cast him out. Yahushua comes, or Jesus comes and said, well, look, man, y'all, how long you perverse, generation? How long will you will have this little faith? Only if you had the faith of a mustard seed. You remember that? I'm just running off the dome. For time purposes, man. All right, we got the class. That's an hour and a half, but I gotta summarize it. I gotta put a summary on this thing for Israel to really grasp what that whole class is pretty much saying. That's leading up to lack of faith. Peter walking on the water starts sinking. Lack of faith. Lack of faith. And so when you see certain things like this Gentile woman, this Phoenician woman, and she's called a dog. And again, that's all we try to take from it. Well, she's called a dog. Listen, the only people that Yahushua complimented when it came to faith were Gentiles. We said, your faith, great is thy faith, woman. Your daughter's been healed. Great is thy faith, woman. Your daughter's been healed. This also goes into, the matter of fact, the class is called, Why Did Jesus Weep? Why did Christ weep? And it was because of unbelief in Israel. I'm going to go here real quick. We going to deal with that verse. And then we're going to go into, well, let's talk about the Lazarus first. No, let's go into the verse. Let's go. I'm sorry, y'all. Just got a brain. I just came here. Things still weighing on me. It's 1:00 in the morning. And I just, this thing still on me. I want Israel to be able to get this, man. Because this verse is this verse is heavy. All right, Matthew chapter 8 and verse 5. It says, and when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of palsy, grievously tormented. All right, he's here for his slave. He's here asking about his servant that is grievously tormented, sick with palsy. And Yahushua, Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. All right, he said, I'll be over there. I'll come get him straight. And the centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. Listen to what he said. I'm not worthy. Just like the Phoenician woman. I'm not worthy. I'm a dog, but even the dogs get the crumbs from the master's table. I'm not worthy for you to come into my house. Just say it. That's all I need you to do. Just say it. And I know that my servant will be healed. Just say it. Don't give me all of it. Don't go back and well, I don't need all that. All I need you to do is say it. I know the power that you have. I understand the power that you have. I'm in a ranking system myself. What was the centurion answering and said, Lord, I'm not worthy that thou shouldst come in under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say this to man, go, and he goeth. And to another, come, and he cometh. And to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. When Yahushua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, who is them that are following? Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. I haven't found this kind of faith in Israel. And when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that follow. He's marveled. He said to them that followed him. He's turning around to his disciples. I ain't found this kind of faith in Israel. Verse 11, and I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west. And this is the verse that we're talking about. It's within this context. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom, who are the children of the kingdom? The children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The children, see, this was the spooky part, because we consider Israel the children of the kingdom. The kingdom is set up for Israel. So then if this is Israel, then many shall come from the east and the west. And they going to sit down and eat. But Israel, and this is within the context of a centurion having a faith that's marveled by Christ, a Gentile. And he said, well, how you know he's a Gentile? Because he said, I ain't seen his faith within Israel. He ain't going to say that if he's an Israelite. He said, the centurion, he said, I haven't seen this kind of faith. No, not in Israel. But let me tell you something, man. There's going to be many people that come from the east and the west. There's going to be many Gentiles. There's going to be many people you don't think going to be there. There's going to be people that come at the 9th hour. He told you to go out there. Before he told you that, but before he told you that, hold on, I'm finna jump somewhere up to another parable about bidding them to the marriage. There was first a people that were invited. And they made all kind of excuses. Nah, I can't go. Nah, I can't go to the wedding. I just got married. I can't go to the wedding. I just bought my cattle, just had birth, and I got to make sure the farm is straight. I can't, all these excuses why they didn't want to go. And then he sent his servants out and said, man, you know what? Just go bid whoever you can see, man. Go to the highways and byways and bid, all you can to come in to this marriage. But initially, that thing's supposed to went to a particular people that were invited. So after this, he said, there's going to be weeping. The children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And Jesus said unto the centurion, go thy way. And this is what I'm saying. It's in the same context. Go thy way. As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And the servant was healed in that self same hour. All right. The servant was healed that self same hour. Now I want you to hold on to the grasp that the centurion said, man, I'm not even worthy. The Phoenician woman said, I'm a dog, but the dog can at least eat the crumbs. All right. The humility, the diligence, and to continue to be asking. I put this in another short video I did about how many times the Phoenician woman had to keep crying out. You don't keep crying out and somebody reject you if you don't believe that that's where your help is gonna come from. If you like she had the hope of the. There's another dude, a blind dude, who did that also. They was telling him to shut up. And he just heard. He kind of heard the commotion, and heard that that Yahushua was there, and he knew he can be healed. And so he cried louder when they told him to shut up. That Phoenician woman wasn't gonna be told no. She got on their nerves. And also the parable about the woman in court who got on the judge's nerves. He gave that parable also. But if we take that and understand that he said, man, just say it. You ain't got to come in my house. Just say it, and I know he'll be healed. And then you go to the Lazarus incident, and you see that Martha is coming up to Christ saying, he already done told the disciples that, hey, Lazarus, our friend Lazarus is sleepeth, and he had to end up telling they couldn't comprehend that. That's a lot that the disciples could not comprehend. It's a lot they just did not understand. They just had to ask questions to the point where they got scared of asking questions. Because, because he was an upstairs man. But it's not just that. They done got on his nerves. They're failing him, when he's testing them on his faith issue. Do they really, truly believe? He's failing them. Doubting Thomas. Come on, man. You need to feel his hands. Peter, man, you're going to deny me 3 times. So he told him this is not but he ended up telling him this is not a sleep unto death. All right. He, basically trying to tell him, man, I'm finna go raise him up. But he sat there 2 more days. Anyway, when he pulls up, Martha runs into his hands. And, she's weeping and hollering and said, if you, matter of fact, it's another point in there, Shalakia, it's another point in there where Christ tells them that you finna go, nodding, it's a sleep unto death, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I sat here 2 days and he done died for your sakes because of your disbelief. You're going to get to see the glory of God. You're going to get to see the glory of God. So through this, him raising Lazarus so that you can possibly believe. They still have a belief that's not sufficient. And so he let Lazarus die. He sat there 2 days because nobody really has resurrected anybody after 3 days. He sat there 2 more days to the 4th day, and then he went. And he's going there. He already told him, man, I'm going in there to show you the glory of God. Lazarus is not really dead. He's going to be, he's going to be risen pretty much, but they still not really comprehending. And so when he gets there to that tomb and Martha runs into him and she's crying and hollering and tell him, yeah, if you would have got here earlier, he wouldn't have died. Now that hurt Christ. It said he groaned in his spirit. He was troubled. If you look at comparative text, you look at other texts, look at the NLT, it says he's angered. He's angered. Why is he angry? Because if you really believe that I could raise the dead, why are you crying? You should be crying tears of joy. Finally, you here. Can you come and go? Can you resurrect him? She's not telling him. She's not asking him to do that. She said she's talking like it's too late. Like you didn't get here in time. What's going on? Why? Like if you would have got here just a little earlier, then he wouldn't have been dead. Then you see the disciples and you see Pharisees back there in the background of people that was with her when she ran out, and they saying, well, and once he starts groaning, and he did that like 3, 4 times, and it's right after people made statements of disbelief, like this statement I'm just finna tell you. They say, well, he did all these miracles, why he couldn't come and raise him up? Like he still can't. Like that's not what he's here to do. He couldn't raise him up. He raised all these other people up. He did all these miracles, but what, he can't raise him up. That's terrible, man. And then he groans again. And you're like, oh man, look how he groaning for his friend. He not groaning because Lazarus dead. He groaning because y'all jokers don't believe. He groaning because you don't believe. And so then he says this, and this is really gonna nail it home. That he says, well, let's deal with Martha first. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's deal with Martha first. Martha says, had you came earlier. And my brother had pointed this out too, that the centurion, he said, you don't even have to come. The centurion said, man, listen, you ain't got to come. I'm not even worthy enough for you to be in my house. Just say it. You ain't got to come do nothing. You got to come touch nothing like that. Man, I know what power that you have. But Martha said, if you would have came earlier. Christ said, open up the tomb. She said, no, when are you going to open up the tomb? The tomb, he going to stink. Open up the tomb. He going to stink. His body stinking. Why you doing that? Imagine that, man. Imagine. Put yourself in Christ's shoes, man, where like, man, you done did all of these things for these people. You done showed them all that. That's why I says, great are they who believe and haven't seen. He's going through this whole thing, like, man, dying on this cross. These folks still don't believe. Yeah, we want Barabbas, man. Put that joke up on that cross. But most of Israel argue up and down that, oh well, no, it was just the leadership, it was just a few. No, the disciples didn't believe. They faith wasn't sufficient enough. He had to come back and spill everything out to them. Then you wonder, like, oh, why he's saying why forsaking him? But let's deal with what he's saying. Let's go back. He's opening the tomb. Well, before he opens the tomb, he says a prayer out loud. And I want y'all to just go, I'm doing this for people who know the text. And you just go back and be a Berean and go back and see if what I'm saying is true. Go in there, find the text. Or sit through the class. It'll probably save you some time just going to sit through the class, but I'm summarizing this thing up, which is we still at a good little minute, but he prays out loud. He says, Father, thank you for always answering. And then he tell him, I know you always answer. Tell the Father, I know you always answer me. I'm just saying it out loud for their sake. Because they don't believe. I'm saying it out loud so they could believe that you sent me. This is the great one. This is the great miracle here. Raising Lazarus on the 4th day. If this don't get them, nothing going. Except him being resurrected. And that's what a lot of them needed. Him being resurrected. But they still had a lack of faith, not enough faith. If you only had the faith of a mustard seed. And so he's telling them, hey man, still dealing with this thing, still trying to show them, trying to get them some faith. And this is why he's weeping. Not because he missed Lazarus or anything like that, man. If my homeboy died and I can resurrect him, I'm comforting the family, man. What in the world are y'all crying about? This man finna wake up right now. You know. Now imagine if you knew that. Imagine if you was sitting in the hospital with your loved one. They had an illness, and now they say, man, this wonderful this new pill that can come out that's gonna eliminate everything. He'll be woke up in the next 30 minutes. Once I just crush this pill and put it in his IV, he'll be woken up in 30. You think people gonna be crying? No. It's gonna be tears of joy. They're gonna be thanking God. They're gonna be praising the Lord for this pill that these folks that came in. That's gonna take away all their illness and sickness that they folks is laying they sitting in hospice. And a pill was just created, and a miracle just happened. They are going to go out and they're going to thank God. But not Israel. Israel was walking with a walking miracle, and they were still mourning, saying nothing. Still in the mind frame of nothing can be done. And this is why, when we look at the Matthew 8, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.